Hi, it's February 9th, 2020, 269 days to the Trump election, and I'm the loud gong clanging in Connecticut about HFA petroleum processing plants, which are the United States' greatest risk. This is my fourth post about them. There are 48. I have a lot of literature to show you. It's quite important, and I'm going to base my campaign on dealing with some of these issues, which are not even center stage on the debate tourney website, let alone the Democrats have no idea what I'm talking about, and the Republicans don't care. So if you want to follow me here, I would really appreciate it. And to get the word out, I mean, we're going to need a certain amount of funds. I mean, $5 from everyone in the state of Connecticut would get this platform across the nation on digital television, phone voter apps. We have 250 debates scheduled. We have 56 people we're debating. And if you look on my screen, we highlighted these two Philadelphia plants, which one has 6.8 million people at risk at. There are two in Philadelphia. But if you go down this list, there's 3.9 million people at risk in Minnesota. There's 5.2 million at risk in Chicago. There's 1.2 million Valero plant. Valero is a Greenwich corporation. We have a New Orleans plant with 1.1 million. We have another, if you go down this list, we have a Texas plant with 2.2 million at risk. The red zones are the ones you need to look at. Salt Lake City has 1.1 million at risk. 3.5 million people at risk in Orange County, California. And what you need to know, here we go. These are HFA, hydrofluoric acid plants. I want to talk to you about the greatest risk in America, and it is this: Corpus Christi, Texas. We're going to talk about it. It's a highlight. You need to know what's going on there, okay? This is a lady's home. Fine. This is behind her. There is a production row of oil refineries that create high-octane gas, which are Al-Qaida targets, okay? One explosion could devastate the entire country. This also happens to be on the coast in Texas, which gets hit by a hurricane every year. These plants are from the 1950s. Some of them are from the 1960s, but I'm going to highlight some things which there are massive infrastructure projects. There are 13,000 employees at these places. But listen to what this lady has to say. Rosie Ann Porter, 56, my age. She thinks the refineries at the end of her street in Hillcrest have gotten away with murder. Oh, they certainly have, because there's more toxins in this area plaguing African Americans and Latino Americans, and they're dropping like flies, people. Here we go. If you read some of these articles, this plant they're talking about is owned by the Koch brothers. Okay. We can talk all about the Koch brothers and how notoriously bad they are. But you know what? The real problem is they're funding the lobby groups that have appointed all these senators and congressmen to push this legislation through. They're not working for the people of Texas. They're working for the billionaires that own these plants. There's a long list of Halliburton people. Valero owns 16 of these plants, or 15 of these plants. Valero's in Stamford, Connecticut. Tesoro Petroleum owns multiple plants that are high-risk Al-Qaida targets one RPG into one of these plants will cause 4 million deaths, 4 trillion in losses. Every single plant, look at this, every single plant highlighted in red on my database, it has the addresses. Chevron, Delta Airlines owns one. Flint Hills Resources, that's the Koch brothers' address. There's cancer. Here we go. Hillcrest, increases in the risk of cancer. Public health assessment. What happened to it? It's getting squashed. Look at this. Corpus Christi. Here's the bridge. Here's the affected area. Look at the size of this area. These are city blocks with high concentrations of people. This is 1,000 feet. That represents 3/4 of an inch. If you read these articles, people, you got to read these articles, okay? I can't read them for you, and I can't tell you, but if you look at the pollution alone on the water, on the Gulf, affecting the wildlife, the fishing, there's a lot of people making comments about it, and there are photographs after photographs after photographs of the damage that is taking place. This is Corpus Christi, Texas. The map I just showed you is this area. I'm going to show you another map that highlights everything we need to know. These are the air pollution industry numbers, the evacuation strategies. There is no way to evacuate this area if there is a problem of any kind of magnitude. As I was saying, look at this picture. This is the 14th worst air polluter in the country. No, in the world. And this is owned by David Koch, Republican supporter. Here we go. We love to hate BP and Shell for their environmental accidents, but according to this report, Koch Industries is far more toxic when it comes to air pollution. Okay, look at the photographs. This is the part of the country, the highest risk of any target in America. I can go over the topics. Here, 5 eco-crimes committed by the Koch brothers. Yes, they're paying lobby groups to put us all at risk. They are self-insured billionaires. They don't care about the risks they're taking. Hydrofluoric acid, if one of these plants blows up, the gas will go immediately into the atmosphere. It vaporizes at 68 degrees, and it will kill everyone in 19 minutes in a 3-mile area. It will maim everyone else. So can I get this out to the general public? I've been trying, and people ask me a lot of questions, but unless you do some legwork on your own, you're not going to understand. There's article after article. I'll highlight a few. This is a tremendous article, people, okay? Let me focus on this. Oh, you know, I don't want to say this. I want to turn it. I want you to look at this screen. I want you to look at this screen, okay? These are all the refineries on a high-risk hurricane zone, okay? Anderson Oil, Broadway Waterview, Citgo, Equistar, Flint Hills, that's the Koch brothers. Greenbrier Energy. Here's another one, Koch Properties. New Star, Martin, Texas PEI Investments, Valero Energy, Greenwich, Connecticut, Tesoro Petroleum, Stamford, Connecticut, Carlisle Group, Wilton, Connecticut. What's going on here? Wilton, Connecticut corporations own refineries that are putting other people at risk. They're hedge funds that don't maintain the properties. Violation, one of these plants has 590 violations. They just pay the fine. Look at the Koch brothers' lists of regulatory filings. How many times they've been fined. Look at this. Look at this. This is the list. Benzene is emitted into the air, okay? This is exactly what's going on in Des Moines, Iowa, at their hydrofluoric acid refinery. Hydrogen sulfide causes respiratory effects in people with asthma in the refinery row. Okay, that means everyone in this community, particulate matter, heart disease, lung problems, go down the list. Sulfur dioxide, short-term problem. Respiratory problems in children. Asthma, health effects. Not only are these the most dangerous things to have in your community, if they get attacked by Al-Qaida as a soft target, and we are making enemies like you would not believe. All cancer-causing compounds detected in refinery row air. Okay, this is discrimination, folks. Yeah, it would cost $15 billion to $50 billion each to change these processes easily into hydrogen sulfide plants, replacing hydrofluoric acid, which does not vaporize at room temperature. It vaporizes at 700 degrees instead. It's many, many times safer than what we're currently doing. And it is the lobby groups blocking these court cases for the affected people who are dropping dead across these areas. The asthma concentrations in these areas, birth defects, heart defects. Go down, you have to read the articles yourself. Links of cancer to air pollution released at these refineries. Yes, it's a concentration. What is causing these odors in our communities? Well, what's recommended? What are the helpful steps? You can call, but it is the lobby groups being paid by attorneys all along here, and we need tort reform, okay? We can't have one of these plants attacked, not one. And there are numerous accidents all the time. The one in Des Moines, Iowa recently released 5,000 gallons of HFA. Well, you know, that can kill everyone in the city of Philadelphia. I mean, that amount. Don't look at the facts? Okay, fine. Don't be concerned? Okay, fine. Let's talk about major issues affecting us all. Connecticut corporations owning these corporations. Guess what? If they're not insured, it's the state's fault. It's the Connecticut residents' fault for not knowing, because the Senate in Connecticut is getting paid by the lobby groups. The congressmen for Connecticut are getting paid by Halliburton. They're getting paid by Tesoro Petroleum. They're getting paid, they got paid by OxyContin manufacturer Perdue Pharma in Stamford, Connecticut, and 130 people die every day while our congressmen are sitting on their asses like Himes, sitting next to Schiff for 3 years doing absolutely nothing. If you don't vote out Jim Himes, you know, people, I'm moving, okay? So I'm getting very little support from anyone. I'm a loud gong clanging. I get it. You don't care. I don't care that you don't care. I'll tell you this. If you don't look at this chart, I spoke at the toll rally because the same companies paying for the pushing the AFL-CIO are the steam fitters, pipe fitters, unions on the payroll that Connecticut owes the pension liability to. pushing up a toll bill that we don't need because we get paid $190 million a year because we don't have tolls. Why would we push through a plan to make $170 million from tolls, from out-of-state trucks, which will raise our cost of living? And now we're getting $190 million annually from the federal government because we don't have tolls. And here we go. We're going to listen to the AFL-CIO, push this toll bill with the SIEU and their 30,000 employees so our senators like Bob Duff and the rest of them can get rich looking the other way about our refineries that we own, that are in our state, that are putting the entire nation at risk. Well, there's 2 in Florida, 2 in Chicago, 2 in Philadelphia, there's 13 here in Los Angeles. If you look at Valero, they own 16 of these things. They're high-risk Al-Qaeda targets. Do you hear me? High-risk Al-Qaeda targets. Yeah, I don't want any tolls. It's insane. The same companies pushing the lobby group to push this Democratic bunch of idiots on our Senate who have the majority in the General Assembly are not listening, and people are not sharing these posts, and people are going to learn the hard way. We learned about Oxy the hard way. 130 people die a day. Well, guess what? If any of these plants get hit, 3.5 million people in Los Angeles will be killed. One plant, one RPG. Hi. Look at the list. Look at the red zones. It's insane. Salt Lake City could be wiped off the face of the earth. Why? Because Connecticut is the insurance capital of the world. Connecticut is asleep, collecting insurance money, not requiring enough insurance for these things. And insurance won't do anything because the people in that area, they're all going to be dead. Who's going to collect? Their estates? I doubt it, especially if the value of the damage of these plants exceeds 1/3 of the value of all the homes in the United States. I'm talking, if every single one of these plants gets hit, it will exceed the $480 trillion that reinsurers have, the money they have in the bank in the world, let alone Connecticut. So people are not paying attention. They're not listening. I told this to the panel at the tolls meeting. They cut me off at 3 minutes. They let their Halliburton guy speak for 25 minutes. They let their SIEU guy speak for 20 minutes. They cut Johnny off at 3 minutes. You know what? They don't even admit having the data we sent them. Here we go. HFA Refinery, Chicago, Illinois, 5.211 million. This is the second one right above it, 5.2 million, also in Illinois. There are 10 million people at risk from HFA refineries. This is a number one topic for immediate discussion for presidential candidates. If we don't fix this thing, which is easily fixed, okay, we're going to have soft targets that Al-Qaeda knows about. And you know what? It's your fault if you don't send me $5, okay? Because I will make it a upfront discussion for Republicans who don't believe in climate change, upfront discussion for the Democrats on the payroll of these companies, putting us all at risk. I'm not talking about just financial risk for Tesoro and Valero. I'm talking about Philadelphia, bankrupt. Chicago, Illinois, bankrupt. Corpus Christi, Texas, bankrupt. If Corpus Christi goes bankrupt, Texas goes bankrupt. If Los Angeles goes bankrupt, California goes bankrupt. Okay? I'm getting to the point. You are not listening. No one is sharing. Look at this. 6.8 million. Philadelphia. One plant. People at risk. Yes, I'm finished for today about Corpus Christi, which is the #1 soft target in the world for Al-Qaida. In the world. One city. Unprotected. No insurance. And vulnerable to attack. We're keeping the war in the Middle East. However, we have no protection from this. Look at the emails I've been sending and receiving. All presidential candidates in the debate tourney can learn more. John Flynn's contact information is, my email is, I live at 27 Quintard, Norwalk, Connecticut. Yes, colossal problem. Can it be fixed? Yeah. Hello? Elect me. I'll fix this thing faster than anyone else. I'll put these people in jail immediately for their malfeasance, misfeasance. Congressman on the payroll here, I will subpoena every single one of every single contact they've ever had with these HFA plants. And we'll see why the legislation is sidetracked. The court cases are never heard. Well, that's because the Democrats are on the payroll, just like in OxyContin manufacturer Perdue. Now there's a countrywide problem to fix opioid epidemic. This is a bigger problem than the opioid problem, okay? 130 people a day dying is a tragedy. But not fixing this risk to our national security, this is so insane, okay, that you need to send me $5 so I can promote these changes. We need to guide our platform to things that matter. This week in Connecticut, the internet speed law by the FCC was just knocked down. Okay, fine. Because the internet companies are paying Bob Duff, our Senate Majority Leader, to screw us over. And yeah, they want certain speeds in rural areas, different speeds in the city because it's much more money to maintain them in the rural areas. Okay, I get it. Who cares? We're wasting our time about plastic bag legislation, straws. Who cares? All the straws in the ocean are from America. Other countries don't even use straws. We sell our garbage to Indonesia and they turn around. We pay them to take it and they dump our straws into the ocean and they're collecting. Okay, that's a problem. We can address it. But this thing has to be solved prior to the election. Okay? Prior to the election in 270 days. So I'm going to push a certain number of things. My platform is much more important than anybody else's platform. Okay, I can fix Medicare through private insurance. I can fix college education through private insurance. I can fix the housing market through private insurance. What do the Democrats want? They want to do away with private insurance. The Green New Deal is a disaster on many fronts. First of all, we need the technologies of the oil and gas industry to make clean energy, clean up the messes that they have, which no politician is doing. Not a single one. Let me champion that concern. I'm on it. I have the facts already. I've forgotten more facts about the oil and gas industry than any of those people even know. And I thank you very much. I put my No Tolls shirt on because it was free. We've spent no money on our campaign. We're letting everyone else use up all their ammunition because it's only February, folks. But we need to have enough money collected to force the Joe Walshes out, to force the Bill Wells out. Why? because they are dud spuds, or they are loud, attacking idiots with no solution, okay? Problem, solution. Problem, solution. That's all we should talk about. Hi, we can meet in the middle of the aisle. Sure, because I don't care what party you're in. I'm an independent. I've had the Republican endorsement. I'm risking it. I don't care. You know, I don't need them if they don't need me. Who's on my team? Me. I'm alone on my team, it appears. But that doesn't matter to me. I have a proven track record. I'm working with two people in my campaign who work for Perot and Clinton. And when we reveal what we're going to do, which is slowly being rolled out, this game is over, okay? So I have 21% of the vote in Connecticut. We haven't even tried. We have 270 days left. The Republicans are blocking all the primaries, just like Tulsi Gabbard has a gag order. I have a gag order. Doesn't affect me at all. It won't affect her. I reached out to her campaign. Hopefully she'll debate us. I asked Tom Steyer to debate me. They refused. I asked Bill Weld. Nothing back. It's okay. I will debate the 250 people I'm in touch with, and there will be no contest. A lot of these people are one-issue people, gun rights. Fine. Don't take my gun. Don't take them. Thanks. We agree to disagree. I'm at 26 minutes, which is 3 times longer than I ever wanted to be. But you probably learned more in this 5 minutes of me bickering than you've learned all year about the risks of American corporations and how they put you at risk by paying lawyers to block legislation. Thank you very much, folks. All the best.